All right, Cripple Creek. Hey y'all. I got a special one today. I've been watching the Netflix series The Punisher, and I find it really an interesting series and an interesting take on the lives of working class people as affected by empire. The main character, the Punisher, Frank Castle, is a sort of assassin type guy, tough assassin type guy, but they take the directors and the authors take pains to show that he's been turned into this killing machine and this monster by empire, by the expansionary tendencies of global capitalism, and that he's turned into a monster because of his experiences overseas and because his family is taken from him by the same people who turned him into a monster. His partner in this conquest is David Lieberman, who's a hacker of sorts, and he goes by the name Micro, and his family has also been taken from him. His family thinks he has been killed by Empire, and he's estranged from them because if he knows he goes back to his family, that they will kill his family. So there's a friendship between David Lieberman and between Frank Castle that I want to explore in this vlog today. I want to explore the idea of working class male relationships as shaped by the violence of empire. And what's really interesting is that even though David can't have contact with his family, Frank becomes friends and develops a relationship with his wife Sarah and with their children Leo and Zach. Zach is the young boy. And two things happen when he develops this friendship and this relationship with Micro's family. For one thing, he acts as a stand-in for Micro within that family, and he acts as the male figure within that family. And he also adopts this family as his own surrogate family to replace his family that was murdered. And what I want to think about is how this shapes the relationship between Micro and between the Punisher, and how that in turn is shaped by empire. What the interesting thing is that because of this relationship, David Lieberman, or Micro, develops a sort of respect for Frank because he sees Frank as taking care of his family, but he also sees he also has a resentment for Frank because Frank can contact and have that relationship with his family. So there's both this relationship of respect and this masculine rivalry, and it comes to a head when they get drunk together after Sarah Lieberman kisses Frank, and David Lieberman feels that he has to prove his manhood to Frank by showing him his dick. And if anybody's been in any drunk conversations with working class men, somebody always talks about their dick, and it's always about this, I'm more of a man than you. So there's this conflicted relationship. And both of these people have been told and socialized that care for your family and protect of your family is what men are supposed to do. But they've been taught also that they cannot protect their family because of the violence of empire. And this is a really fraught problem for working class men who feel utterly powerless. And there's a consistent theme throughout The Punisher that many of these men feel completely and utterly powerless and uncared for, and they react in sometimes very destructive ways. And I think it's important for us to think about what violence does to working class men. Fanon, speaking in the colonial context, said that a people subject to violence will respond to violence. And Bell Hooks has said that the first violence of patriarchy is the violence of the man against himself and destroying his emotional capacities. And we see this throughout Punisher. We see how violence shapes everything, and it's a very, very violent series on Netflix. But I think the violence is a literary device to show us that working class men exist in an atmosphere of violence. And I can say for myself, as a working class man, I had violence through most of my life, whether it be in the home or on the shop floor. I was always subject to violence, and I very much believe that it has greatly contributed to my struggles with bipolar disorder. So I think that the Marvel series do a great job. Jessica Jones talks about patriarchy. Daredevil, the villain, is a gentrifier. Luke Cage has themes about the prison industrial complex. And I think that the Marvel series, with the exception of Iron Fist, do a really great job of tackling very complex phenomena. And I think they do a great job of capturing male working class relationships that are shaped deeply by empire, patriarchy, and violence. I encourage you to watch it. I encourage you to get into it, and you know, some of the parts seem really slow, but a lot of it is about character development and about showing the struggles of working class people, and especially working class people who are in the military. This is Zach Henson, Eastlake, Alabama, December 2nd, 2017. Peace out.